Hey, everybody. I'm here with my brother, John. We're in Rochester tomorrow or 2 days from now. I'm getting inducted in the Rochester Music Hall of Fame. But we're sitting here on the balcony at the hotel that they're putting me up in. And we were kind of talking about, since we have 4 years difference in age, we both started playing guitar, though, at the same time. So we've been playing since the mid-'70s or so, both of us. John you're going to be 58, right? And I'm 62, even though I've got the white hair here. We were just talking about our parents and how they had completely different tastes in music, as did all of our siblings. What were you just saying about our parents, John?
Just that they had two very different styles of musical taste that only interlapped probably in later years. They used to watch Lawrence Welk on Saturday night, I think it was.
Yeah, but Mom didn't like big band music, really.
She did not enjoy jazz really at all.
She didn't like jazz at all. My dad loved jazz and didn't like any of the music my mom liked. Our mom was into classical music, opera, Italian music, which Dad was not interested in that at all. I mean, they had almost nothing in common. When our dad would play jazz, he liked bebop, and he would play it, and my mom
would you turn that down, please?
Turn that down. and then if my mom was playing something,
turn that down.
Both of them. My mom would get annoyed if my dad would play bebop stuff, and my mom would play the Italian station. My dad would get annoyed. And then, of course, our siblings all had different musical tastes. So we're the two youngest out of 7. And our brother Lou was really into Eric Clapton and the Allman Brothers, a lot of Southern rock.
Pink Floyd.
Eagles. The Eagles. Dave Mason, things like that. Anything that was, I guess, Southern rock, he liked Boston, he liked things like that, but he was really more into, I guess, what would become Southern rock, or as Greg Allman would say, rock. Saying Southern rock is like saying rock.
Ray liked Boston.
Now, Ray, who's the next older from me, he's 3 years older than me. Ray always continued to listen to new music. When grunge happened, he liked grunge. When new metal happened, he liked new metal. And he was really open-minded about music. And
he liked the two Barrys, Barry White and Manilow.
And then he was into Steve Lukather and Toto, and he liked all the studio players, and he was the one that
early Aerosmith.
Yes. He was the one that got me, that would yell at me about listen for that part, Gordon Lightfoot, whatever it is. Basically, what makes a song great was Ray telling me what to listen for in songs. Do you hear that part? And he'd sing it. I don't hear it. Put your ear next to the speaker. And we'd have these little cassette players with one, 3-inch speaker or so. And don't you hear that one line? And I was like, oh yeah, I hear that. That's the best part of the song. I'd like to take a second to talk to you about this channel. This is actually Rick Beato 2. I've had it since the beginning of my main channel, and many of you are not subscribed. As a matter of fact, 87% of the people that watch this channel regularly are not subscribed. So I encourage you to hit the subscribe button on this channel and on my main channel. This will help me get even more of my dream guests and help continue to grow both channels. Thank you. And then our brother Mike was into Frank Sinatra. He's our oldest brother. He was into Bobby Darin and
Tony
Bennett, things like that. I mean, not things that you would think for somebody that graduated in 1973. He was not into really any of the contemporary music of that time. And then our sisters, like our oldest sister, Pat, she is hip to, if I ask her any contemporary artist, she knows who they are. She knows 80s music. She knows 90s music. She knows the players in the bands. She knows Larry Carlton. She knows Joe Pass. She knows Led Zeppelin. Our next sister, Nancy, what is Nancy like?
Now, I should say that our sisters are actually both the same age right now.
They're both the same age. We won't say what age they are, but they're the same age. One's birthday is in April and one is in June, and they're the same age for
6
weeks or so.
And very, very much different from each other.
Very different from each other, and have no common. They honestly don't like any of the same music.
Well, they go to those hitmaker things, though.
I mean, Nancy likes Michael McDonald. She likes what kind of stuff does she like?
George Benson.
George Benson. Yeah, it's not that Pat doesn't like those. I mean, I would say Pat is included in that. Now, all this stuff was going on at our house. Every room had different music, and our parents listened to different music. Anytime that there was opera on, I'm the only one that would watch it with our mom.
I actually saw Pavarotti sing live.
There you go. But John, then being 4 years younger than me, when I'd come home from college, John would watch MTV all day. He'd get home from school and he would sit and watch video after video after video.
It was the best.
But as far as the jazz guitar thing, both of us learned jazz guitar. And the one condition our mom had for taking us to guitar lessons, which we really wanted to go to because we wanted to learn more, is that we had to play every night on request, which is pretty much every night after dinner, we'd have to play duets. And a lot of the stuff we played would be stuff that we learned in our guitar lessons, jazz standards, and we played popular songs too. But then when we would jam, when we weren't learning things like that, we learned guitar solos, Led Zeppelin, Freebird. We play the 2 parts to Freebird together, or the 3 parts, whatever.
Long distance runaround, playing the 2 parts together. Larry Carlton, Kid Charlemagne, or, Don't Take Me Alive. Those are the kind of things we would learn. But we'd play Genesis, we'd play Kansas, we'd play a lot of progressive rock, just anything. We just learned songs all the time. Well, of course, guitar was a main instrument back then.
Yeah.
Music was guitar based. That's why people played guitar, which, today, not as many kids play guitar because they don't hear as much guitar as they should.
Right. Now, we have 2 aunts that are music teachers. Our Aunt Penny, who passed away, how many years ago is it now? 3 years ago?
4.
4 years ago? Yeah.
During COVID.
Yep. And our Aunt Marion, who's was a music teacher. She's a retired music teacher. And our Uncle Al was a bassist, our mom's brother.
Fantastic bassist.
Yep. And
played for the Woody Herman band back in the day.
And then our grandfather, Grandpa Domino, my mom's dad, was a guitarist. Mandolinist. And John would knew a lot of the Italian folk songs, and he would play them on guitar and on mandolin. One of the things that's different between the 2 of us is in that 4-year difference, as far as our guitar playing, John was much more adept at playing with a whammy bar because he played in cover bands. So my high school rock bands ended with the Monroes, which was more new wave and punk rock. And then John played more things like Van Halen and things that were bigger because he graduated in 1984. So, and I went on and studied jazz and classical music in school. So he is far more adept at playing metal and things like that than I, at least playing early 80s style metal. Wouldn't you say that?
I would definitely say that.
Yeah. John is far more of a metal guitar player than I am. Now, I love metal guitar. I was good at more later music that came on, new metal and things like that, because I produced a lot of it. But as far as playing the solos of that era, John did a lot
of those players at that time, of course, with Eddie Van Halen being, a pioneer, but you couldn't find a guitar player that wasn't, doing 2 hands on the neck at any given time.
Yeah, so John is really good he can tap things, he can play with a whammy bar, he can play, he's really good at 80s metal. Even though his band that he's in, Northside Johnny, his cover band is really a 70s rock cover band, although you do 80s songs.
You do play some 80s tunes.
What do you play? You still
Round
play
and Round?
You play Round and Round? Yeah, now why would you play that song?
Because it's a great song.
Well, it is a great song.
And it's very early 80s, actually. I think it came out in 81 or 2.
No, I think it came out 83, Round and Round.
Okay. But you still do your Zeppelin medley or not?
Yeah.
And they play Zeppelin. They play Eagles. What else do you play?
Styx, Boston, Aerosmith, Kansas. All the songs, all the bands that we kind of grew up listening to. That
Journey.
Journey for sure.
Yep.
That had guitar-based tunes.
Do you do any grunge songs at all? No. So pretty much, you're really a 70s band that does a little bit of the 80s. Because
we like to say we play both kinds of music, 70s and 80s.
You don't really do any 60s music, right? You don't do any.
Led Zeppelin 1.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin 1, right.
Would be about as far back as that goes.
Good Times, Bad Times you guys play, right?
Yep.
Do you play anything else off the first record? You don't do Ramble On you do on the second record.
We do Ramble On.
Okay, that's on the second record. Do you
do A Lot of Love?
Okay.
We do Going to California.
Wow. Okay.
With a mandolin.
Yeah.
We do Kashmir.
Well, then you're in the 70s then. So.
Yeah.
And you do any Black Sabbath or anything?
No, I keep requesting to do War Pigs, and nobody ever responds to my text every time I send it out.
Okay, what about Pink Floyd? What Pink Floyd do you do?
We did Comfortably Numb before, and we also did Wish You Were Here.
John is very big into Pink Floyd, loves David Gilmour.
I love David Gilmour.
Yeah. Which is funny because we haven't talked about David Gilmour yet. But, I mean, we were really influenced by 70s rock players, 60s and 70s rock players. But John more of the 80s players, really because of that, because of him learning the things for the band. And it's funny because your band actually plays stuff up to 1984. So when you graduated, when you kind of started your band.
Yeah.
So anyways, if you guys are in upstate New York near Rochester and you see Northside Johnny playing, that's Northside Johnny right there. So anyways, we thought we'd make a video together here since we are together, and hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.